Speaking about just the awards now, let's just want to get right into the Oscar
let's
noms.
do it. Yeah.
So let's go in. As we mentioned, Amelia Perez got the most recognition with 13 nominations.
13.
Pretty incredible. We could start with Best Picture right here. So I'm not surprised that Anora has been nominated for Best Picture. It's a beautiful film.
Unbelievable.
Very well directed.
Yeah.
Really fun story. It's also nominated for Best Original Screenplay as well.
Yeah,
so,
and the director and I want to say it was also nominated for Best Actress and for Best Supporting Actor, which is slowly becoming one of my favorite categories in this whole thing, but we'll do Best Picture,
Yeah. So after Nora with The Brutalist.
Yeah, The Brutalist, we've the brutal AIist.
A Complete Unknown. You have seen that?
I just watched that last week.
Is it Oscar worthy? Is it
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's not like the greatest, like, I feel like the music biopic, like, trend, or just like they're always kind of very cookie cutter, and this definitely falls into that range. But the performances that the actors are giving, like Timothée Chalamet, phenomenal. I'm a huge Timmy T guy. I love it. Pretty much every movie he's been in, I've enjoyed. He's been one of the big parts about it that I've enjoyed the most. I think he's, you look at the range. In 1 year, he played Paul Atreides in Dune, Bob Dylan, and Willy Wonka. Like just like three, just completely all different sides of the spectrum, and he did a great job in all of them. I'll be rooting for that. I'll be rooting for him to win Best Actor, definitely.
I'll be rooting for him to be named next year's Hasty Pudding's Man of the Year, because
that would be awesome.
Just Dune, Wonka, and A Complete Unknown would be an incredible theatrical show.
And I think he would do it. I think he would totally be into that.
He would definitely do it. So that's good. The Conclave, starring Ralph Fiennes.
Yes.
That one looks so good. Again, the time. Don't have the time. But it is on my list to watch. I heard the cinematography is amazing. Rafe does an amazing job. Again, he's incredible. Did you see how jacked he got for not for Conclave, but how jacked he got for the Odysseus movie that came out?
Oh my God, no!
Yeah, so he plays Odysseus, and it's the last act of that story where he goes back home and he has to fight like a dozen men who want to marry his wife, whatever. But he comes back and he's like ripped, and but how he described it was like a tight rope, like because he's older, he's like in his 60s, but so he wanted to be like very low fat, tight. I don't know why I'm gushing over Ralph Fiennes' body much.
He's great. I mean, do you see his body in Harry Potter?
It was the very last scene before he died was very wrinkly. I remember that.
Missing a nose, I believe. Yeah. But now Ralph Fiennes, gotta love him.
Gotta love Dune Part 2 as well.
Oh yeah. Fantastic.
Not surprised it's nominated for Best Picture. So disappointed that the man who directed the film not nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, I don't know what he did to deserve that, because he is. With his vision makes that movie what it is.
It's incredible how that is allowed to happen.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't know who he ticked off over at the Academy, but that was crazy to me.
Yeah, we'll get into the directors in a second, but Josh Brolin, after the awards, the nominations were announced, he posted on Instagram or wherever, just basically calling out the Oscars and just saying, Denis Villeneuve, you deserve to be nominated. You deserve to win because you are amazing. You're incredible, and the fact that you were not recognized is like a travesty. Don't quote me, but that's like that's the vibe of what he. What he posted.
Good guy, Josh Brolin. Way to go! Come to your guy's defense.
I know, my goodness. So it's incredible that he was not nominated. Amelia Perez, as we mentioned, Best Picture. I'm Still Here.
Saw the trailer for this and have heard a lot of buzz about it. It's Brazil's entry for international film. I believe the general thing is it's about a woman whose husband is a politician in Brazil who is arrested and essentially made to disappear, and her fight about that whole situation. I believe the main woman, Fernanda Torres, I forget her last name, but I know her first name is Fernanda, and she is apparently fantastic. I saw these great videos on Twitter of the newscasters in Brazil watching the announcement and everyone going nuts. Yeah. And they were like, no, there wasn't just a World Cup goal scored. It's just that this movie got nominated for Best Picture, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's gotten a lot of fun buzz.
No, that looks so cool. And what also looks cool and gaining a lot of great buzz is Nickel Boys. This is a very small production film based around. I don't know the plot, but I saw the trailer and I was intrigued. But this one, what interested me the most was that it was filmed in like 30 days, and they had to cut like 4 days of filming because of like weather-related issues, and so they had like very little rehearsal time. The director, as I mentioned, he was on not Variety. Oh yeah, I guess it may have been Variety, where the directors sit down together, and he was talking about the production of it and the challenges they face. But given all the challenges, they accomplished something, and apparently it's a great film. The two young actors who play the leads are incredible. Based again, given that there was no time to rehearse or practice, they just went like they kind of run and gun kind of shooting, and they came out very well.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that sometime. I don't really know much about it, but I do know that like part of it's filmed in like first person.
Yeah, POV.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out.
No, that looks good. The Substance, we both reviewed that last week.
Check
Incredible
it out.
film. Not surprised that it's nominated. And Wicked.
Yeah,
Wicked.
very fun.
Don't see too many musicals nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, and we got 2 this year. What are the odds? And I guess I would even argue that A Complete Unknown is a musical because there's so much music in that as well.
You know what snub was? Joker Adieu.
Oh, yes.
Big snub.
What was it? Did Nikki Glazer make that joke? She says, where's the Joker table at the Golden Globes? Oh, God, I can't believe I watched that movie.
Oh, my goodness. I did not watch that movie. I saw the first movie. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's aged pretty well.
Yeah.
I know some people have like mixed thoughts on it, but I think it's a solid film. And Joaquin won an Oscar for that performance.
Deservedly so.
He is nominated, however, for a Razzie for worst actor, I guess, for Joker Part 2.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so.
It was one of those things where like they weren't kidding. That movie is a musical, and I was shocked.
Oh my goodness. Let's continue the shocked because Best Director Emilia Perez, Jacques Audiard. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. But she nominated for Best Director. Sean Baker.
Fantastic. Super happy for him.
Super happy for him. I want to see the one with Willem Dafoe, the one where he works at a
Florida Project.
Florida Project. That looks so good.
That was my first Sean Baker movie I ever saw, and it was such a unique way of telling a story. I loved it. And then I remember for a class I had to watch his debut film, Tangerine, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one. It was filmed all on like an iPhone 5. The whole feature film filmed on an iPhone, and it looks great. It's amazing that they were able to produce something like that with an iPhone. Yeah, super happy for him. Well deserved. Brady
Corbet, also the director of The Brutalist. Nominated for Best Director.
Now in hot water.
Yeah, get out of here. Actually, get out of here, Corbet. Let's see. Coralie Fargiat for The Substance. Coralie Fargiat for The Substance.
Coralie, I think.
Coralie. She's also French, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. That's my excuse for not pronouncing her name correctly. And James Mangold for A Complete Unknown.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting. I hope that Sean Baker wins that. I think it will be well deserved. I mean, he got I believe he got Best Director at the Cannes Film Festival this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if that ends up repeating.
And now we're moving on to the Best Actor in a Leading Role. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, no. So we got Adrian Brody, as we mentioned, for The Brutalist. Obviously, it's been a little controversial now with the whole AI thing on his accent. Whether or not you think that someone can win Best Actor when they have that. I mean, but honestly, when we think about it, like, probably not the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
I wonder how long this app has been around for and what other great performances it might have been used on.
Yeah. So, Adrian Brody, again, great actor. You can't take that away from him, but
still a great performance.
Some baggage. Yeah, still great performance. Timothy Chalamet. I call him Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown. Again, you gave.
I could gush about that performance all day. I mean, he really he has it.
No, I don't want to. Again, I still plan to see it. But does he sing like? I'm assuming he sings like Bob Dylan.
He does, and I'd argue he's probably a better singer than Bob Dylan.
Oh, that's not a high bar though. I'm sorry, Bob.
He's not a better songwriter, Bob. You get that. Yeah. But no, I mean definitely. I mean it's he sounds good, and the other actors that sing in the movie as well. Even the actor that is playing Johnny Cash does a decent job. It's hard to replicate Johnny Cash. But he did his best.
Coleman Domingo did his best certainly in Sing Sing.
Phenomenal. He is unbelievable. I'm so happy that he got nominated for this. His second year in a row getting a Best Actor nom. If he was to win, that would also be amazing.
Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. And Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice.
Yeah.
There's the other movie with Sebastian Stan. I think he was nominated twice in the one category for the Boston Globe. from
Yes.
Boston Globe for the Golden Globes.
Yes.
What's it called?
Is it?
Something Man.
I think it's a different man.
different
I don't want to
man.
confuse it with was it Better Man?
Better Man. The monkey one.
That's the monkey one. Yeah, no.
Sebastian Stan really transformed himself into a monkey.
But no, yeah, I haven't seen either of those, but I have heard good things about both performances.
Yeah, I really want to see a different man because his speech because he won the Globe, his speech was so moving, and the man who plays I guess the other half later, the later developed character in that film, just the strength and bravery to put yourself out there and tell that kind of story, and speaking out for those with disabilities. So go Sebastian Stan. I am a stan for Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, I always love seeing big MCU guys having success.
Yeah, and doing roles that are just out of their what people expect.
Hey, look at RDJ last year, paid off for him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, good for RDJ and good for the ladies who are nominated for Best Leading Role, Best Actress: Cynthia Erivo, Wicked. Of course.
Yep.
The wickedly talented Cynthia Erivo.
Gravity-defying talent.
We have Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez. Mikey Madison, Honora.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
I'm hoping that she'll win it. I mean, I think she's done a fantastic job. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the next person on this list to be more for the substance. I mean, she's had such an illustrious career. Apparently, this is her first Oscar nomination. I did not know that.
Yeah, so people are theorizing that Demi might get it just because it may be one of those legacy or lifetime achievement
kind of
awards.
like Jamie Lee Curtis a couple years ago with Everything Everywhere.
I love Jamie, but I'm not sure she.
No,
I won't say anything more. I won't say anything more. But I'm pulling for Mikey. I think Demi did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But I have a soft spot for Honora and Mikey. Really, all those characters. Yeah. We'll go more into it. Were great in that film, but she was fantastic too.
And then Fernanda Torres with I'm Still Here, so I did have her name right. I'm happy about that. Everything I've heard is that she's fantastic. I have not seen it, but I do want to watch that and see if it's cracked up to be because I've heard a lot of really good things about it.
And coming up next, I'm actually really excited for this one. Again, another Honora Best Actor in Supporting Role is Yura Borisov.
Yes.
He plays Igor in the film, and I watched when he was interviewed by somebody back in Russia, or I don't know exactly Russia, but he was doing an interview on Skype, and in frame was Yura, but also his two daughters and his wife behind him, and they're all just smiling the biggest smile as they're being interviewed, and you could just see the pride the family has for him, for their father, for their husband, and his character was one that surprised me. Because, again, we will get into the spoilers of it, but that surprised me with how attached I was to him.
Yeah, and how attached you get to him without him even saying much. It's such a well unspoken performance. Like his presence and the way you can see him thinking and he's taking in what's unfolding, it's so captivating. And I remember seeing that he was nominated for this and being really intrigued by that because, I mean, and I after looking him up, I found out he's like an actual actor because a lot of Sean Baker movies, he doesn't even use actors. He just finds people that he thinks would do a really good job. And I saw, he's an accomplished Russian actor, and he did a fantastic job, I thought. I mean, there's so much he does and says without even doing anything or saying anything.
It's a lot of eye acting.
Yeah.
So so many moments where you just see an eye pivot, an eyebrow raise or lower, a glance to the left or right, and you totally know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And he kind of acts as the viewer or the audience for the film, who is kind of going along with this ride, and who's kind of stepping out of the box and just seeing all the players and how everybody's moving and how everybody is acting, treating each other, how things are playing out.
Yeah.
And so he's like us as the movie unfolds. So I'm really happy for him because he seems like a really nice guy, lovely family, and again, a very moving kind of interview that he did. Kieran Culkin.
Fantastic.
Our boy.
I mean, he was great. I mean, this whole category is just stacked with some great performances. I mean, I believe that Kieran Culkin is like the runaway favorite to win it, which, I mean, well, he did do a great job. I'm surprised that he's as favored to win as he is only because there are so many other great performances in this tier. It doesn't seem like as much of a lock as it should be.
Yeah. I feel like last year, who walked away with so many awards last year? I forget which film, but everybody was kind of just pulling for that film or kind of expecting that film to win. But this year, it's anybody's game in many of these categories. And again, in this category too, we have Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. Who does he play?
He plays Pete Seeger, the folk music legend.
Nice.
He does a really good job. I mean, I'm a big Ed Norton guy.
Yeah.
And I will say the only thing that took away from it for me is he looks so much like Peyton Manning. I don't know if that's like a weird way. Like his forehead is like really big, and he has like the Peyton Manning forehead. But no, he does a great job as a soft-spoken but powerful Pete Seeger in that movie. Super happy for him. And then in The Brutalist, I mean, Guy Pearce. He plays the wealthy businessman that sort of finances Adrian Brody's character, and he was one of the high points of the movie for me as well. I mean, like he's in the first act a little bit, but the second act he really kind of just like lets it fly, and they just kind of let him go, and he was a huge bright spot in this movie.
Is he over the top? Not, and when I say over the top, I don't mean like just out of control, but like is he like his presence very demanding, very strong?
Yes, and he mixes it between these moments where he's very like positively enthusiastic, and he's just like is really appreciating everything, and then he can flip into this like deranged anger. It's amazing not the depth, the how wide of a performance he has. I can't find the right word for it, but he's got a very varied performance that I think is great.
No, that's awesome. Again, I can't wait to watch it when I have 3.5 hours to kill. Also, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice.
Two Succession people in this category. Gotta love it. I haven't seen The Apprentice, but I have heard that he's great.
Great stuff. Let's move on to Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Also, a complete unknown, Monica Barbaro.
Yeah.
Monica Barbaro.
She plays Joan Baez. Does a very good job. I was a fan. It's just very solid performance.
Awesome. Ariana Grande in Wicked. Again, Wicked's getting a lot of love. I was kind of surprised because not all musicals do, but this one again getting acclaim and praise all around. So not too surprising. Should be that Ariana Grande is nominated. Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana in Emilia Perez,
who I think will probably be the winner. I know she won. She won for. She won the Golden Globe for musical and comedy. I don't remember who won the drama one. I don't remember who got that, but it seems like she'll probably. I can't imagine with 13 nominations that Emilia Perez is going to walk out with nothing. I mean, it'll probably get Best Song, I'd imagine, because I don't think anything from Wicked was nominated. But I would not shock me. And I think from what I didn't finish Emilia Perez because I didn't like it.
I heard the first 20, 30 minutes are great, and then after that it just drops off.
See, for me, the first 20, 30 minutes were like unwatchable. I couldn't finish it. My girlfriend did finish it, and she said that it ends a lot better than it starts. But Zoe Saldana, I could at least tell from what I saw that she did a good job.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's skip down to there's adapted screenplay, but I want to see original screenplay.
Yeah.
Again, our one of our favorite movies of the year, Anora, written by Sean Baker, directed by Sean Baker. Not surprised.
Yeah. No, I mean he's got such a unique way of storytelling, and it's good to see him getting I mean, I think he did get nominated for something for Florida Project, but I'm glad to see that they're really giving him his flowers because he's very good at what he does.
A shout out to Mac and Goo, because Mac of Mac and Goo, he when they reviewed Anora, he was raving on about how much he loved it, possibly his favorite movie of the year, but he said it should win the Oscar for Best Screenplay. So, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, and I think alongside the rest of these nominees, I think it should be the favorite personally. I mean, The Brutalist, it's good.
Yeah,
definitely good. I mean, I had my qualms with the screenplay. I think it kind of loses a little bit of momentum in the second half. But it's a 3.5 hour movie. It's going to be hard to keep that energy going the whole time.
Could anything be cut from the movie? Because in that case, like if you feel like again, I'm no editor, a film editor, but like at a certain point, you're thinking, we have a lot of great moments, but if there's a lull or if there are places that I think
personally for me, I think there would be portions that I prefer it would have just been different, like just rewritten, and maybe that could have made it shorter. But what do I know? I'm not a screenwriter.
My wife and I have this not debate, but we have like this our mutual kind of like rant about movies that if they would have tweaked certain things or gone different directions, it would have been a much better film. For example, not to go off the beaten path, but Gladiator 2. Did you watch Gladiator 2?
I have not. I do want to see that, though.
I don't want to spoil it, but I will. I'm kidding.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I've had plenty of time.
What's his name? I'm blanking on my favorite guy's name. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal's character, he plays a general. There's a part in the movie where he's like, hey, I have a loyal 1,000 army soldiers who are willing to, like, who would have my back if we were to overthrow the emperors. Like, they got my back. We got a plan. We can do this. Cool. And then 5 minutes later, kind of like in the original Gladiator 2 when they're trying to break out Maximus from prison because there's this plan, it gets shuttered. Like everybody gets arrowed in the chest. And so Pedro Pascal, he survives, but everybody else gets arrowed. Yeah, like in the first one, Maximus survives, but everybody else gets arrowed. But the thing is, like, if they would have if they would have gone in that path where they had written it so Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal's character end up in the Colosseum, because that's like, you want to see them two fight.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you can still have that scene, but have a point where like, no, and then the army comes in. Then you have this big battle in the Colosseum. That would have been so great.
Would have been sick.
But they said, "Oh, we're going to do this thing. Oh, that looks so awesome." 5 minutes later, nothing's happened. Move on. Like, whoa!
It's like the Knights of Ren and the Star Wars thing, where it's like, oh, the Knights of Ren, and they just immediately are all killed. It's
like,
just like, who cares?
Okay, yeah. So my wife and I have so many things. We're like, if they just do this or this, it would have been a movie 10 times better. We're no screenwriters, but if they invite me or my wife or yourself off the street,
for
like,
the table read,
do this instead.
Yeah.
Like that it would have worked better.
Get
anyway.
us in the focus group screeners.
Yes,
come on.
come on.
We got thoughts. We got takes.
We got
We're professionals.
And they're always right. What's also right is these other nominees for original screenplay. We mentioned The Brutalist, A Real Pain.
Yeah, super happy for Jesse Eisenberg. I think this is the first movie he's written, as far as I know. But good for him.
Yeah, go Jesse. September 5 is how they written it. I think that's the movie where the Israeli hostages.
Yeah,
during the Olympics.
And I was intrigued because I assumed it was a story about like that, but it's sort of, from the trailers I've gathered, it's a story about the ABC sports team that was covering it, and obviously they played a big role in the historical event, but I was a little surprised to see that's the angle that they took for it.
Yeah. As somebody in news, that actually does intrigue me.
Yeah.
Plus the main actor, I'm blanking on his name, but he's been in so many great things, and he's anything that he's in, I'm more willing to watch.
Yeah.
And so September 5, also The Substance.
Great movie. Very original.
Yeah, well said, but real. The thing is, I think I'm just pulling a number out of my butt right now, but the entire film, the screenplay, has probably like, for example, 130 pages, but there are like 30 pages of dialogue.
Yeah,
that's how they described it. Like, is that kind of like a comparison of just like how long it is, which isn't very long, but compared to like the actual words in it, is even less.
That's crazy.
But with that, even it's still a great movie. Let's move on to cinematography. Unless you're interested in animated feature films.
The only thing I saw that Flow. It's the international nominee from Latvia has been nominated for this and Best International Film. It's like a story about like a cat and a bunch of animals recovering from a great flood. Looks really interesting. Looks really cute. I do want to watch that.
I saw Inside Out 2. I forgot it came out this year and it made $1 billion. But it came out early this year or last year, 2024. And Inside Out 2, great. The first one is great, fantastic movie.
One of my favorites.
This one's just as good.
And The Wild Robot. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
Wild
I've been
Robot
wanting
was
to
fun.
see it.
It's really fun. It's really cute. I think especially for you as a parent, I think it might resonate with you a lot. It's a big story about like being a parent and whatnot and what it takes to be a parent. So.
I heard that they may be making a part 2 because like it's a book, it's a series, and so the part 2 may be in the works because it was very popular.
That'll be fun.
So that one's good. Cinematography, I'm very interested in because all these films look beautiful. I can't speak for Emilia Perez, but The Brutalist. Looks great. Dune Part 2. I don't think anything needs to be said. But let's say it anyway.
Should win by far. I mean, you look at I remember actually the beginning of the movie how there's the eclipse scene.
Yeah.
There was an actual eclipse that happened.
Real eclipse.
Like, I think that's insane that they were able to do that, and they made it work like that.
What they did too is they used as much natural sunlight as possible, so much so that they actually got drones, and with LiDAR, they scanned all the mountains, all the dunes, no pun intended, but all the physical, literal dunes, and everywhere they were going to film, and then they timed it, and they used astrology to pinpoint exactly when the sun was going to be at certain points. So when they went out there, because they had to travel out there to film these shots, it was all a science and in the tech sense and in the astrological sense.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and so they use as much natural lighting as possible. And then also, you mentioned that one thing that stood out in my mind is they use many films. They use one camera to film. Ridley Scott famously uses like 6 cameras because he came from a background of filming shows.
Yeah.
And so they would use like the multi-cam setup. And it was funny because Denis Villeneuve was saying like, I cannot imagine trying to operate more than one camera because I need a singular vision of what I want to be on the screen. And so, so not surprised. I think it should win also Best Cinematography. Greg Pfizer. Go Fraser. Go. Amelia Perez also nominated for Best Cinematography. Maria, I'm not sure what that is.
I have not. It's a biopic about Maria Callas, I think I'm saying her name right, famous opera singer. The only thing I know about it is that it was Ed Lachman apparently is just like every time he makes a movie he's nominated. So I think they just threw him in there because like he's just like, he's just really good at cinematography.
We didn't watch the movie, but we trust you.
I trust him.
Nosferatu, Jaron Blaschke. One thing I talked about during my review of Nosferatu on the Hub on Hollywood was the cinematography.
Yeah.
Because they use a lot of like grays and blacks and whites, and even though it's very there's a very limited color in this film, very muted colors. It's shot so beautifully. Like every shadow is used eloquently to perfection. Every black and contrast is beautiful. The world looks amazing. The actors, the tone. I can rave on about how beautiful Nosferatu looks, even though there's so many disgusting imagery in that film.
Yeah.
That disgustingness looks beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean Robert Eggers is fantastic at what he could do with a camera and making those movies look the way they do. I mean, I've The Lighthouse, in all black and white. I mean, just you talk about the shadows and that. I mean, it's so well shot. I'm wondering if it was the same cinematographer. Honestly,
I wouldn't be surprised. But Nosferatu, that one, if Dune Part 2 doesn't win, I would go for Nosferatu.
There you go.
That would have my vote. Let's go through. We could skim through costume design. A complete unknown. Do they match the 70s? It takes place during the 70s, right?
Yeah,
mainly the 70s or 60s.
I think the Bob Dylan outfits looked pretty spot on.
Are they pretty like it's like a jean jacket, right?
Yeah, you're going the whole time, the sunglasses and the hair. I think they did that. Yeah, I think they did a solid job.
Conclave, Gladiator 2. Really great Roman attire, uniforms, armor,
papal stuff. It's those are definitely 2 shoe-ins for sure.
Yeah, they actually used the same armor that Russell Crowe used in Gladiator for a sequence or scene in Gladiator 2.
Wow, that's awesome.
So again, they're trying to pull that nostalgia. Those nostalgia strings for people. Also, Nosferatu, beautiful, like German Victorian era dresses and suits. Very beautiful. Wicked also. Wickedly beautiful.
Wickedly beautiful. Some great costumes in that movie.
Great costumes. Let's see. There's film editing, makeup and hair. If you want to get into this, I'm not sure, but...
the only one that I feel super strongly about that we didn't talk about was score.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge film score guy. I remember I took a great class in college about like the history of film score, and it was one of my favorite classes I ever took. And the fact that Challenger's score did not get nominated. I mean, you look at it, won the Golden Globe. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, 2 well-respected, I was supposed to say choreographers, the composers. That's the word I'm looking for. And one of this score sold like a lot of records this year. Like it was a hit score, and the fact that it didn't even get considered at all just shocked me.
I heard it's very like.
Yeah, it's very like like a lot of like running. It's like techno stuff you hear in like a club. And like I remember I was watching the interview with the director, and he was saying like that's what he wanted. Like he wanted it almost to be like he wanted the people watching the movie to like want to get up and dance while they're watching it. And like there are times where it doesn't hit for me. Like it's a little overpowering at times, and sometimes I think like the style of music it is doesn't fit every scene it's in, but. As a whole, it does such a great job of elevating how crazy that story is, and the fact that it's not nominated, I am shocked. But pulling for The Brutalist in that one, the score of The Brutalist is phenomenal. Conclave is good as well.
Yeah, excellent. Those are the nominees, and as well as our thoughts on some snubs and some well-deserved nominations. Let us know who you think got snubbed, got ignored, got rejected, who should lead a rebellion to overturn whoever's nominating who's
Lady Gaga should be in there for Joker, Folie à Deux.
Lady Gaga, yeah.
Hey, she tried.
Yeah, what the heck?